If I was a brand new real estate agent or I was an agent who was just starting to use social media as marketing, these are the 8 steps that I would do to start building a brand presence that would actually help grow my business. Hi, guys. If you don't know me, my name is Jarvis. I run a company called Jarvis Media Consolidated. We help many small businesses and especially real estate agents grow using social media strategies and making content for them that actually helps their bottom line, doesn't just increase vanity numbers, that actually doesn't help you. Really focused on, of course, real growth. And just as an example here, to show why we might have a reason to listen to us, we have a great track record here. Over 298,000 followers acquired for our clients in 2023. We helped them reach over 5.58 million potential customers or clients, and we saved them over $275,000 by using us over hiring an inside hire to handle their social media. So that's our resume. So that's kind of where some of this information and where our strategies have come from, all of that testing. Let's jump into it. So these are the 8 steps that I would take if I was a first-time real estate agent, or at least first time using social media as a marketing tool, based off of the 5 to 6 years that I've been running this kind of marketing for real estate agents. Number one, first and foremost, create social media platforms with the same branding. So what I mean by that is that we don't want to use your personal Facebook page and then a professional Instagram account and then, a LinkedIn page that's not up to date. We really want to create business pages on all the platforms that allow you to do that, which I think is basically all of them besides like YouTube. Make business profiles. There's a lot of reasons for that, but the big reason is our insights. Insights are data that these platforms allow you to have when you're a business or a professional page. Either works totally fine. I know Facebook and Instagram allow you to have either professional or business. It's really all the same, to be honest. You can choose either one that you prefer. But that's going to be really important for a couple other steps down the line. We want to do that. We want to have the same branding. So the exact same headshot, and I would use a headshot for your personal page. I think that's very important. Your face is your brand in real estate, and if you're not showing it to folks, they won't know who you are. And then, of course, also with the branding, you want to use the same colors and all that kind of stuff. That's not as important as showing your face and using the same headshot across all channels, but it definitely helps. Very cool. Next step, I want to create ad accounts. So you don't have to do this for all the platforms. They all have different ad accounts. I would actually recommend that you only do it on one platform. The reason for that is because, yes, we can do a million things under the sun, but a big strategy that I'm always focused on with helping real estate agents, you are small businesses. You have to focus on so many different things. You need to be the CEO, the CMO, the CFO. You have to be every different person in your business when you're first starting out. Same with all small businesses. And so I highly recommend to make it simple where you can. And so you don't need ad accounts for LinkedIn, YouTube / Google, Facebook. Just choose one. I highly recommend Meta ads, so Facebook and Instagram, just because I see the most bang for your buck with all the ads that I've tried out. I also think they're the most straightforward and the most widely accepted, and that will help with connecting to your website and all that kind of stuff in the future. Very cool. And I'll talk about why that's important in just a second. Number 3, I would look at the top real estate brands in my area, maybe even some outside, like on the national level, but especially in my area. Look at the top real estate agents, not necessarily who are doing the most, but who are getting the most reach and who are creating the content the most consistently. Why? Because those people have a level of expertise. They might not be, amazing social media gurus, but they have a level of expertise because they're doing it consistently. And it's really hard to do something over and over again, day in and day out for years, and to be bad at it. Or at least it's very hard to do that long consistently and to not get good at something. So we want to go ahead and look at what people have already done, basically steal their homework and make our process a little bit faster along the way. When I copied their best content, so go to somebody's Facebook page, go to their Instagram page, go to their LinkedIn, look at the past 100 pieces of content they've made, even maybe make a spreadsheet if you're really diligent, and then mark down the content that has done the best. There's actually some really cool tools where you can actually showcase a brand. You can look at competing brands. I think Facebook pages allowed this. They might still allow it, but you could actually look at competing pages and see how well they're doing. That doesn't give you a lot of specifics, but it does show you generally how many people they're reaching per month. That's kind of a cool tool. But more importantly, go in, look at the content, actually watch the content, see why it's registering with folks, and then steal their homework. Number 4, I would test variations of those content topics using the research you've done with agents who have already done successful brand building in your market on social media. and start to create content topics that you want to answer that you feel like you could help people with. So whether that's talking about interest rates and how that affects your market, or maybe you want to focus on helping sellers kind of prepare their house for the best value, or you want to talk about first-time home buyers, or you want to talk about newly divorced folks. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people who become newly divorced folks, and usually there's some purchasing that has to happen with like either an apartment or a home. If folks have a home, they split up and they need to find a new place of living. So whatever you want to focus on, test those different variation of content topics. I wouldn't test like if you really don't have like a niche that you want to focus in on and you want to test like all of these different totally different topics, that's totally fine. One, just make sure you do a really elaborate test before you commit your entire business to helping divorced couples, and then you find out like maybe there's not as much of a booming market as there is for like first time home buyers. Just do your research and make sure you have enough of a sample size where it actually helps you. But test those content topics and then look at your stats. And that is why it's very important to have business accounts, because they will give you the insights. Instagram, you can go on insights, or better yet, Instagram and Facebook, you can just go on to meta.business.com. I think that's what it is. Business.facebook.com, excuse me. And you can look at Meta Business Suite, and that has the connection of your Facebook and your Instagram accounts. You can really quickly look between it, and it has all the data you're ever going to need: your impressions, your reach, your follower growth, what content, what videos are performing better than others, all that good stuff. So you want to constantly be looking at what you're posting, how well it's doing. Ideally, a week after you've posted it, that's usually enough of a runway to understand how well that piece of content will do, forever. And then you want to retest, you want to double down on the things that are working, you want to get rid of the stuff that's not working, and you want to reiterate, and you want to keep doing that over and over again until your content starts to get really, really good. What's good, it's totally relative term, but you'll start to feel when your audience is growing, you start to have people watching your videos that's more than just like, your brother and your mom, for instance. Number 5, I would run ads to get followers. Now, this is a really interesting topic. I've talked about it in different videos that I've created, but it's really important that people understand on some platforms, you can do this, and it's totally above water. It's real people who you're getting to follow your account. As a really quick story, I was helping this brand. It wasn't even a real estate brand, and they were a referral. They were referred to me by a client that I have. And I was talking to them like, well, we can run campaigns to get you followers. And then they're like, well, I don't want to get like fake followers. Like, all these different people, that follow these accounts are fake followers. And that's very common, especially on Instagram. Facebook, for instance, allows you to run ads, and just like how you would run an ad to get a lead, or you would run an ad that would drive traffic to your website, you can run an ad that's optimized to get followers. All that these ads do is they take your content, they put a big old button in there that says, follow this account, or go to the page, or learn more, whatever it might be. And then what they do is they show it to a bunch of people based off of your targeting, demographics that you put in. They show it to a bunch of people, and the people who don't click the button, Facebook stops showing the ad to those people. The people who do click the button, they say, yeah, I'll follow this account, Facebook will start to show your ad to more people who have the same characteristics, the same demographics and psychographics that the folks who are following. So it's really just how ads work in general. People are always blown away by this, and it's because on Instagram, there's so many shady companies that have been like, oh, give us $200 for 10,000 followers, right? And they're all bot accounts. They're all fake accounts. That is true. That does happen. But there are ways to get followers through ads that's completely above board. How do you know it's above board? Well, generally it costs a lot more. But if you're using Facebook's native tools, LinkedIn also allows this. I think TikTok does as well. If you use these tools natively that are built into the platform, that's how you know that it's going to be above ground. If it's just somebody DMing you saying, hey, pay me, like PayPal me $200, that's probably not what you want to do. And for multiple reasons. One, it's against these platforms' rules and regulations. Oh, there's my little thing. I hate how it does that. One, it's against the regulations, so you could just get your account taken down. And two, you don't want a bunch of followers who aren't interested in your stuff. That's why you put content that represents your brand, you put that as ads to get followers, and the people who followed that, they're following because they like the content, and you're creating more content like that on a weekly basis. So that's a proper follow for your account. Okay. As an example, I'll actually do a really quick example of what this can kind of look like here. Oh, let's switch over. Okay, so hopefully you can see this all right. If you're building out a social media Facebook follower campaign. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to adsmanager.facebook.com. If you don't have your ads set up at this point, then that's not going to work. But hopefully at this point you've had your ads set up and you're going to start to get followers. So what you're going to want to do is choose a campaign objective. For this case, getting followers, we choose engagement. You'd hit continue. You'd probably want to do a manual engagement campaign. I'll show you what I would do because I do this all the time for clients. Cool. So now, campaign ads that ad. This isn't a tutorial for running ads in general, so I'm not going to go into all the specifics here. But really quick, high level, what you're going to know, every time you run an ad as a real estate agent, you're going to have to run this under the housing special ad category, and you're going to have to choose this based off of the country that you're in. Now, many of you will probably only be running this in the United States. However, there's an argument to be made, I'm going to talk about it, where you might want to actually click all of these countries. And it takes forever, but you're only going to ever have to do it once. But you just click all of the countries here. Every single country listed here. Now, you might be asking, Cole, why would I do that? I don't actually want to run ads, or I don't really care about getting people in Afghanistan, or in Albania, or in Samoa, or in Britain, or in Australia, whatever. I totally understand that. You don't want those people as clients because you can't help them as clients because you work within a state in the United States. Let's say, for example, if you're a realtor watching this in Canada, sorry, but same things basically apply. You might be saying, well, why do I want followers who can't become clients? Well, the reason is because A, your information could still help them, which means that they could still be followers, but also good followers, but also not every one of your followers ever will also become a client. And on top of that, not every follower needs to, because what do followers help us do? Yes, they help us get in front of more folks, but nowadays, the way that these algorithms are built, basically, you're not actually just getting followers to get more people. You're also getting followers because it's going to help legitimize your brand. There's so many brands on there on social media. The more followers you have, that's like having a lot of reviews on Google. It makes your brand more credible. So as long as they're real followers who are really interested in our content, then that's great. They don't have to be a potential client. You might want to have only potential followers who could be your clients. I'll talk about how to do that in a second. But if you're actually focused here on getting building a brand that's going to actually be very compelling, then followers can be outside of your market, can be outside of the people you can help, and they can still actually help your brand. So let's talk about how to do that. And again, you don't have to, you can choose, but let's jump back into that. Okay, so once you're going down here, let's say you choose all your countries here, scroll down, you should be all good here. Go ahead and hit next. You'll go to your engagement. Then you want to say on your ad, that's where your conversion location is going to be. And, I'm sorry, I misspoke. On your Facebook page. And then you're going to want to maximize the number of page likes here, right? So I'm going to go here and just do my own brand. Let's see, Jarvis Media Consolidated. And so cool. See more options is important. We want to go to when you get charged, change that to page likes. You're only actually going to pay when you get a page like, which is cool. Daily budget, whatever you want it to be. You can go as low as $5 a day. That's totally fine. Or you can just try it out for a month, get a lifetime budget, put like $100 in there or whatever you want to do. Test it out. Schedule, that's all self-explanatory. Now, here's the important part. You do have to just make sure you exclude people who currently follow or like your page. It's kind of obvious, but they do make you do that. It's kind of annoying. Again, this is not a tutorial on how to run ads, but just really quickly. And then your location here. So if I selected all of those countries, that would allow me to just basically hit browse here, go to countries and hit select all. Because I only selected a small number of all of those different countries, I have this little error message here that says, I didn't basically do that first step. I didn't select every country that I'm now trying to advertise to. Again, if you're doing this worldwide, you will have to click all those boxes. But let's say, cool. Let's say I run this. Here's what's really cool. And then your ad here is just going to be basically whatever video you want to implement here. Okay, whatever. Now, why would I want to run this? Well, if I run this to every single country, and I don't know if it'll give me an example here. It doesn't because of the error messages. But, if I run this to worldwide, here's what's going to happen. This is really important to know. If I run this ad worldwide to get followers, for the same amount of money, I will get way more followers. In like 10 times more followers for the same amount of budget. Why is that? Because advertising costs fluctuate based off of the country that you're in. So if you're running ads to a worldwide audience, you will show up on a lot of countries that have cheaper ad spend than the United States, which has the highest ad spend, and you'll be able to get more followers for a lower price. We run this for agents all the time. It's important to know that you're going to get a lot of people from countries that have a massive population that are also happening to be, on the lower side of advertising costs. India is a great example. Brazil's a big one. A lot of South America countries too. You're going to get that. So you're going to get a lot of people who are Indian. Guess what? That's fine. They're still people. They can still watch your content. They can still enjoy your brand and be a good follower for your brand. A lot of people don't like that. And I get it. It feels weird. I mean, if you really understand that these are just other people who just happen to live in another country, they're just as valuable in terms of as a follower as a lot of other folks. So if you're a real estate agent in California and you get a follower in Florida, they are just as helpful to you basically as somebody out in India. There's definitely a stigma towards this, but if you're just trying to get more followers to build a more credible brand and stand out in your market, then I recommend the worldwide ad set, because then you can run an ad campaign for $150, $300 a month and get like 10,000 followers a month to your Facebook page. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to. You can always just choose to only run this in the United States. You can choose to only run this in New York, or only run this in Texas, or whatever country you're in. You can do that. You would just go here, select a location, hit browse, countries. You'd go to North America, United States. Oops, I think I clicked more. Okay, yeah. And then you just put in, then you can just put in like Texas, or taxes, Texas. And then cool. I only want to get people in Texas. Like, okay, cool. Then you can do that. You have that option. But if you want to get the most bang for your buck, worldwide audience is how you do that. Okay, so let me get this back up. I didn't really set that up properly, so it's a little finagly. I know that was a whole tangent, but that's really important because people don't understand that you can do that, and basically, how that will look and all of that detail. So very cool. Once you run ads, you start to get a lot of followers. That's awesome. Then with the following that we have tested here, and the content that we have tested here, we can now run videos with reach ads. So what this means basically is you can make ads to get in front of more folks. And why this is helpful, if you're a new real estate agent and you don't have a lot of money, then maybe you don't want to do this. Maybe you don't want to run follower ads yet, totally based off of your own specific situation. However, if you do have a little bit of budget to spend, you can get in front of 10,000 to 30,000 people in your market every single month. And we do this with our clients, by the way. Followers, they have the option to choose only local followers and get less, but have all very hyper-located followers. Or they can go worldwide and get a ton of followers from a worldwide audience. They have that option. When we run reach ads for them, we make sure that the content is relevant for the market and that we're only showing it in their market, because the purpose of the follower ads is to get more followers, to build your brand awareness, and to make you feel more legitimate, to legitimize your brand so that you stand out and that people want to work with you. When you're running reach ads, the purpose of that is to familiarize potential clients with your brand. So that doesn't help to get worldwide followers. Yes, I guess you could brag that you have millions and millions of views, but we've tried stuff like that. It just doesn't really work. At that point, the reach ads, getting people to view your content, that is more so about trying to get potential clients in the door. And for retargeting purposes, which I'll talk about in a second. Actually, right now. Next is run lead gen ads. Again, this is subjective on how much budget you have, but lead gen ads are fantastic. You can run ads to get leads, just like how you can do followers or link clicks, whatever. You can get leads very easily, actually. And then you can use that by retargeting your audience. So you can run, let's say you're in Los Angeles, California. You can run ads, lead ads, just in terms of like just the Los Angeles market. You can just run an ad that just targets Los Angeles. You can also, after you've been reaching this Los Angeles market with all of your reach ads for a couple months, now you have 30, 60, 90,000 people that you've been getting in front of in your market, showcasing your brand, giving expertise, giving value. Then you can retarget them with content that is actually trying to get, you in the door of working with them. And then when they see your brand, they're not saying, oh, who's this random realtor working with me? They're like, oh yeah, that's Tom. I remember Tom's video. Tom was talking about how I could get, build in more equity by doing these renovations on my house before selling. Yeah, that's really cool. Like, yeah, if I'm looking to sell, I want to work with Tom because he obviously knows his stuff. I've been watching his content already. And that is basically what it is to be an influencer, by the way, is just basically having influence over an audience and then having a product or another brand coming to you with a product and then selling that. Quick side story, and then I'll be done with the side stories, I promise. This video is already much longer than I wanted it to be. I have a client who's a wine client. I've talked about this in a previous video, but he got paid $1,000 for one shout out for a real estate agent who was selling a house that had a built-in vineyard. And because he's a wine brand that's based in Los Angeles, he got the opportunity, and she was like, hey, like, can I just get a shout out on your brand? You have 30,000 followers. You have a ton of people you get in front of every single month. Can you just give me a shout out and I'll pay you $1,000 just to post on your Facebook page and your Instagram page and LinkedIn about this property? That's like the easiest $1,000 I could ever imagine somebody making. So yeah, he's a micro influencer and he's able to get paid for that. That's all that is. And you can do that with these strategies. And then guess what? If you want to, you can just start giving shout outs to other real estate or real estate adjacent brands or companies or industries, make a whole different side revenue. That's a whole different video. But you can retarget these audiences to get more high quality leads and more leads at a lower price. And then lastly, you want to work your leads, obviously. You want to test your content and you want to constantly reiterate. This is important because, yeah, algorithms change all the time, but really more importantly is just audiences change over time. And you want to constantly put out videos, see how they do, test new things, double down the stuff that's working and get rid of the stuff that's not working. That's how you actually grow your brand consistently. And if you're not doing that, then you're going to stagnate even if your content is amazing right now. So guys, this is a lot of these strategies are based on having an ad budget, I know, but that's what I would do personally. I would dig out and I would do that because it gives you the most bang for your buck. For, whenever you're doing anything in the business world, you really have two different kinds of assets. You have time or you have capital. And you can choose which one to use. And a lot of times you don't have capital, so you really have to focus on using time. But what I would do personally is I would try to help other real estate agents so that I can use capital, help them out in some deals, get a little bit of a split commission, let's say. I would try to use as much of that as possible to utilize capital, let's say time, to make as much money as I can in the short term. And I would reinvest in myself and my brand by taking some of that money and putting it into capital and putting it into social media, because social media, paid social media is just so powerful if you know how to do it and you're patient enough to figure out how it works. So I would want to put my resources where they're best utilized, and I think that paid social media is not the only way. There's a lot you can do organically, but paid social media is a great way to really rocket yourself very quickly. And we do that with agents all the time and get some really crazy results. So guys, hope this was helpful. Leave a comment down below if you want me to talk about a different topic, and I'll see you in the next video.